April 2008. I must have been living an exciting life, even though I don't remember it, because I only read 3 books in April. But don't worry, things are going to pick up. Just wait until we get to August. Holy cow. But let's talk about April. The first book that I read in April of 2008 was In Darkness It Dwells by Joseph Ladati. Not sure about the pronunciation of his last name. This is from Medallion, another Medallion Press book. I was reading those, not quite as much as Leisure, because they weren't putting out quite as much, but reading whatever I could get my hands on. Well, in Darkness It Dwells, the main character is a teenager named Tom DeFrank, and he's making a stop-motion animation movie, and somehow his little stop-motion creature has bonded with some real evil creature and is acting on Tom's subconscious rage, taking it out on those that Tom is raging against. And then we have a psychic named Stephen Parrish and his daughter Julie, who is dating Tom. They have some sort of relationship, and they're all trying to figure out how to stop this creature. So that's In Darkness It Dwells by Joseph Ladati. Next up, we have Queen of Blood by Brian Smith, a Leisure book. One of their lamer covers. Just have a house there. Back cover copy. And this is a sequel to House of Blood. It was known as the House of Blood. It sat at the entrance to a netherworld of unimaginable torture and terror. Very few who entered its front door lived to ever again see the outside world. But a few did survive. They thought they had found a way to destroy the House of Horrors, but they were wrong. A new house has arisen. A new mistress now wields its unholy power, and she wants revenge. She will not rest until those who dared to challenge her and her former master are made to pay with their very souls. Queen of Blood, Brian Smith. Good stuff. When I started buying all the Leisure stuff, I believe House of Blood was the first Brian Smith that I picked up. And then I don't think Queen of Blood was the very next book, but I'm not 100% sure, because it's on the shelf right next to House of Blood because they go together. That's the way it works. Normally my books are in chronological order, publication date, but if it's a pair or a trilogy or a series, it's in the order of they're next to each other, whether or not something else came out in between. Just the way my crazy brain works. But anyway, that's Queen of Blood, Brian Smith. Good stuff. And that was the penultimate book that I read in April of 2008, since there were only 3. And the final book was Ravenous by Ray Garton. And I will admit, I sometimes would get this confused with Shapeshifter by J.F. Gonzalez, which I read back in January of 2008. When I was looking at this list, preparing to make the video, I was like, wait, didn't I already talk about this one? Thought maybe I'd made a mistake somehow, but then I checked and I was like, no, I'm thinking of Shapeshifter. But anyway, in Ravenous, Emily Crane, young woman who is attacked and raped by some guy, and she kills him in self-defense. But that guy walks out of the morgue, and Emily is going through changes and having cravings. And in, Big Rock, the town of Big Rock, murders are happening, and some people think that there might be a wolf, perhaps a werewolf, involved. Sheriff Arlen Hurley is trying to figure out what's going on, so we have a nice werewolf book by Ray Garton, and it was good stuff. Actually, I didn't check my Ray Garten. It's in another room. I might actually still have this. I don't think I do, but it's possible. But anyway, that's it. That's everything that I read in April of 2008. Very short video this time. Question for the video: are you a fan of werewolves? What's your favorite werewolf story? For me, book-wise, I might have to go with Hour of the Wolf by Robert R. McCammon, where you've got a werewolf fighting Nazis. That's a great book. Werewolves, not as big as vampires and zombies. I think maybe. I know some authors trying to create a resurgence. Summer Cannon, a huge fan of werewolves. And I think it was last year, did her Year of the Werewolf, and she was watching tons of werewolf movies, reading tons of werewolf books, and so there's not a lot to choose from, at least not a lot that I've read. I can see over there I have Thor, which was a really good book, made into a movie, Bad Moon or Bad Moon Rising, something like that. And I believe Summer Cannon and I talk about that. That was her choice in my favorite horror. But a lot of it is from the perspective of the dog, Thor. And it's a great book. The movie's okay, but the book's really good. But then you've got like Animals by John Skip and Craig Spector, but I've only read that once. And that was when it first came out. I remember nothing at all about it. Stephen Kozanowski and Kaylee Dobbs, French Roast Press, have a werewolf anthology, but I haven't read it yet. Trying to think of other werewolf books. I know I've read more, but so yes, my choice is definitely Wolf's Hour by Robert R. McCammon. But what about you? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. And that's all I've got for this week. So until next week, read more books.